This podcast is distributed for general informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to constitute legal, tax, accounting, or investment advice. The information, opinions, and views contained herein are our own and may be subject to change at any time without prior notice. We do not have any obligation to provide revised opinions in the event of changed circumstances. All investment strategies and investments involve risk of loss. Nothing contained in this website should be construed as investment advice. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not and should not be construed as a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit. Hey guys, I'm going to do a little video on a couple different altcoins here because we're getting this nice little weekend pump. DOT is one that we have been talking about, and then there's a new one that I'm going to post up for just, well, we'll get there. Well, DOT first off, let's look at DOT here. We'll go to the weekly because there's a lot to see on the weekly. Obviously, it is over and above, just ripping through the last few weeks, which we've seen doing really well versus BTC. This is in USD, obviously, only because this is the trade that I'm looking to do. Let's check out .BTC real quick because I don't think we're quite back to. Oh yeah, look at that, nice, sitting over the right all-time high in .BTC. This is even better for me when I'm looking at it. So if we look at the daily, this just descending wedge, flag, whatever you want to call it, just trickle. But this is BTC ripping up. And obviously, it just bounced right through there. The one thing that we like to look at is when we hit these all-time highs, where's it going to go? Why do we do that? I keep getting this with, for some reason, it like double clicks it for me whenever on TradingView recently. So all-time highs, we want to see what is it going to give us, right? What's that next level for our targets? So I like to do some fib levels, top to bottom, and then I'll usually do the one, two, three. If you're an Elliott wave trader, you'd be looking at this is the one, what is it, 1, 2, 3, although that didn't come down very far for a 4, moving up to the 5. I don't know about I see the Elliott wave stuff sometimes, but then I feel like sometimes they're always adding extra, the A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, L, G. It just gets a little crazy. Anyway, if we're actually going to do some price discovery here, which we're kind of in right now on the daily, if it holds, what's our next target going to be? The 36,100. That's a lot versus BTC. I mean, that's a huge increase. But again, it could happen in the fact that BTC is not going to be doing a lot this weekend, I don't think. Maybe towards Sunday night. But I think we're just going to see that sideways action. I think let's look at the USD pair. So I think that's going to do a little bit better for us on what we want to see. So we're at the daily price discovery. I don't include this little random wick over here. So we're right at the edge of price discovery again on the daily. Again, if we can get a close of into that green box, we'll see it when we go down to the 4-hour. That's basically our SR flip, our support resistance flip. And then I'm going to be looking for our first target at the $24 range, 100% mark. Depending on what the violence is, the actual volume. If we get a good uptick in volume when we do get that breakout, is what we want to see. We could keep moving forward. What's next week and the following week going to be? I kind of am hopeful for a nice mini alt season for a few weeks. So DOT's going to be a play that I'm definitely in on. I'm hoping my 1-inch buy is going to grow to 2 inches but we can get to that another time. So DOT, we are putting in this rising wedge. We can see it better on the 4-hour. This rising wedge pattern here. You're getting in your higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then, like I said, the bottom of this green box, that's basically your SR flip. We want to see that turn into support. Right now it is resistance. So between this evening and tomorrow, we'll see what this little wedge is going to do. If it breaks down, we'll have to reevaluate. I'll probably pop out of that trade and move forward. But I'd really like to see this volume pick up a little bit more here in the next couple 4-hour candles. So, and again, you can see some targets that are potential 618, the 100, all these little stopping points potentially in between. Overall target 618 and the 1. Those are going to be the larger overall targets in time frame. It's not going to happen overnight. Well, I say that, it might, never know. But you can throw on a pitchfork, which can kind of give you the overextension if it does move up. We could see it next week sometime if it wanted to go that route. We might just ride this middle channel up, which would work as well too. So just watch it. Definitely what I'm waiting to see is a little bit more volume pickup for this break of the support resistance area in the next few hours. So DOT I like. The next one I was going to do is Algorand. Everybody can say Algorand. Algo's got a nice little following that goes with it. Let's look at the weekly here. Super down versus BTC. Let's take off that fib level. Let's move this up in the volume so we can see here. So way down when we look at in BTC pair, which a lot of these alts are. That's what we're hoping here. This was the last area I was looking at. It broke down beforehand, putting in another little bottom here. Are we going to see a mini inverse head and shoulders come to play? Is it going to break out? Let's look at some potential resistance zones that are going to come into play. Most likely here, up to bounce there, to come down. I'll tell you why I'm looking at algo. I just got an email, so I'll tell you why I'm looking at it. So here's just some quick and easy potential resistance zones that we can see along the pattern along the way. So on the weekly time frame. All right, let's go down to the daily. Got a nice little pump going on the daily here. 14% up. I'm already holding algo, so I played algo a while back. I can show you in the weekly where we were at. So I played algo in this range here. I think I sold most of mine off in this area, like after it dropped back down around this resistance zone. Still holding some. I held it all the way down here just because I made my money back. It was just a hold. So I think I sold, I don't even remember, but sold enough to where I could hold it all the way down to zero and it wouldn't matter because I made my money back. But anyways, a lot of people like algo. It's one of those ones that I think is going to run whenever we see an alt season. I might add to my holdings that I have, and here's a reason for that. So if we look at potential growth from this current position here for longer term, so let me change these inputs here for I'm going to use something different. It keeps doing this for me. It's getting a little bit annoying with that one, TradingView, whenever it does that on me. I don't know if I can change that. I'll have to look into it. So we'll just do this then. So just to get to the last all-time high, when we played this one here, 270 or yeah, 272%. I think in a longer term hold, because we're going to see a couple of these mini little alt seasons that go through. I mean, I think we can see all-time highs coming up. You see these different zones in here that you had some change in price action on the weekly, 400, 600, 900. Are we going to get there? I don't know. Potentially. But, the fib level is lining up somewhat in those areas. So the reason I'm looking at this is Coinbase just came out with their staking for Algorand, 6%. It's not a lot, but what I look at if I'm going to start buying in these low areas for alt seasons for runs, and for the next, 12 months, 9 months, 18 months, whatever that's going to run, if I can get some extra percentage on that just for holding it because I'm not going to trade it, why not? So Algo is sitting at this resistance zone that we see here. We'll go down to the daily again so we can see it a little bit closer. I mean, this whole area right in there is going to be our next little stopping point, I think, once we get this move. So that's got another little, 10% move into the area, which isn't bad. But then potentially some more consolidation. Maybe we put in a little inverse head and shoulders action. So get the head in the. I don't know if it's my mouse that's doing this, but let's see. Shoulder. There we go. Head. Shoulder. And coming down into this area. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. But regardless, you had the shoulder, head, and then come down here with the shoulder, and then bouncing back up for the next move. So ultimately, you're looking at a similar area down in the 1500, 1550 range for if this just doesn't rip right through. Depends on how strong this little weekend pump's going to be. But that's another reason why I like Algorand, is that little 6%, and I think we get another run with it over the year as well. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to stop with today. Just a couple of altcoins we can look at. Let's see what my 1 inch is doing. 1 inch. Come on, 1 inch. Let's get you to 2 inches. You're so close to 2 inches. So close. That's what she said. Anyways,